Everyone in the session will be on mute and off camera. A live chat will be open throughout the presentation, so feel free to drop your questions in at any time. Shimona will either answer those questions on the spot or will forward them to us at the end for our Q&A session. If time permits, we will also answer some commonly asked questions that we get, that we see from students or people that are considering our programs. And lastly, we will post a couple of poll questions during the open house and would invite you to respond. That will give us a sense of the program that you're interested in and your work background. First, let me briefly introduce George Brown College. We are a public, fully accredited college of applied arts and technology located in downtown Toronto, Canada, and the third largest provider of distance education courses in North America. What sets us apart is a robust online delivery method designed to meet the evolving needs of our students and industry. We offer flexible options, self-directed online learning, open enrollment, and virtual labs that use cutting-edge simulation software. We also work with companies and understand that every business has unique needs. That's why we also collaborate closely with employers to identify their requirements. Companies can choose to enroll their employees in the full program or select courses that align with their current and future workforce training needs. We do encourage our students to check with their employers to see if these programs are covered by their workforce training initiatives. On to the next slide. Now, let me take you through a quick review of how our distance learning has evolved over time. Over 27 years ago, long time ago, we launched our first technical distance education program, Electronics Technician. From CD-ROMs and exams on floppy disks to web-based curriculum and exams, over the years, we've proudly led the way in distance learning, technical training by developing a range of programs in response to industry demands and trends. Our highly rated programs are built around two core sectors, industrial manufacturing and clean technology. Within industrial manufacturing, as you can see, we have electronics, electromechanical, a foundational PLC program, an advanced PLC program, robotics, automation. And within clean tech, we have electric vehicle, wind turbine, and coming this spring, we're very excited about our solar energy technician program. Next slide, please. Let's take a deeper look and a deep dive and explore some of the unique features of our programs. All our programs are delivered online. You never physically attend the college. They are on demand with open enrollment format. That means the programs are flexible. Their computer-based modules are designed to fit into your schedule, not ours, so you can work at your own pace to complete the program. And they have flexible payment options. Students can choose to purchase the full program, or they can pay as they move through the program with an easy installment type pay-as-you-learn option. Our programs seamlessly integrate theory with practice through our proprietary simulation software. The simulation software provides a fully integrated lab experience within the curriculum, turning your computer into a virtual PLC, an electronics lab, or even an electric vehicle. And it gives you that hands-on experience. This real-world or 3D practice environments allows students to solve problems in a risk-free space and for employers to train employees virtually, minimizing potential liabilities. Before taking your online exams and to help you evaluate your readiness to take these exams, our modules include review questions and practice exams. Continuous access to learning materials for ongoing practice is also fundamental. By purchasing our program, students receive and keep a licensed copy of the simulation software, granting them unlimited access to all program materials, even after you graduate. There are minimal barriers to entry with no academic prerequisites and minimal hardware requirements. Our programs operate on any Windows operating system, making them accessible to a broad audience. Our programs are credit-bearing with CEUs. Once you complete the program, official documentation like certificates, grade reports, and any other necessary receipts or invoices will be issued by us, George Brown College. Now, let's get to the heart of the programs, and I'll let Geet take you through the simulation software and the course curriculum. Over to you, Geet.
Thank you, Iris. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us today. As Iris mentioned, I'll walk you all through some of the technical side of our programs. As we all know, with a technical training program, it is very important for us to have the practical hands-on experience for you to start working in the manufacturing industry. And that's what our programs are known for. So what we are looking at on the screen are the manufacturing environments that are covered in the PLC, PLC2, automation, robotics, and wind turbine programs. These are just some of the manufacturing environments. There are a lot more that you'll see when you register into the program. This is one of the standout features of our program. It's the extensive collection of more than 250 pre-built lab projects, I would say. So each program has its own set of lab projects that you'll come across when you go through the course curriculum. And these lab projects are integral part of your learning experience, as they will help you gain the practical experience required you to work in the manufacturing industry. We'll explore this, simulation tools in a bit in one of the further slides. But for now, what I really want to point out here is the three-dimensional this worlds. We call them 3D worlds, but they're nothing but the manufacturing environments. What you're able to do with the simulation software is to control this different manufacturing environments using the programs in the background. So if you're working on a PLC technician program, you'll be using a ladder logic program in the background to control manufacturing environments. If you're on a robotics technician or automation technician and working with one of the robot, you'll be using a RoboLogic simulation software and working on a robot program to control this environment. Okay, let's take a look at the short demonstration video that we have prepared here. If I can find there you go. Perfect. So here's a short demonstration video that we have prepared to show you this manufacturing environments in action. The first scenario is the batch mixer application widely used in chemical and pharmaceutical industries. As displayed, you can see at the top, we have two pumps adding the solution to the tank, which is being mixed and heated at the same time. Now, all this is controlled by the ladder program in the background. So you'll be able to decide how much solution you want to add to the tank, for how long you want to mix it, for how long you want to heat it, and then drain it out. So all that is controlled by the ladder program in the background. Let me just turn on the video here. Next, we will see coming up in a second is the bottle line plant, which is again used in the pharmaceutical and beverage industries. Depending on the size of the bottle and the color of the liquid being filled, these bottles are sorted into different sections. All these 3D worlds, again, as I mentioned earlier, they're controlled by the program in the background, and you can create those programs from scratch, or there are tons of pre-built lab projects provided on the course curriculum, which will help you to learn how to control these 3D worlds. Here's the car wash application where you can control the wash cycle, the soap cycle, for how long the car stays inside the conveyor car wash, and everything is controlled by the program itself. There's also an application where you will learn how to control an elevator, like a 3-floor elevator or a 4-floor elevator, and depending on how you program it, when someone press the down button, if the elevator is at that point going up, it would not stop. It would only stop on its way down. So all that is something you will learn in the program. Here's a silo application. Again, used in the agriculture, food, and produce industries. It's one of the very popular application that our students find very helpful when they go through the PLC technician and automation technician program. Again, the traffic light, as common as a traffic light is controlled by the PLC in the background, and you will learn how to control the timing of the red, yellow, and green lights. So it's a very interactive program where you will not just go through the course curriculum, but at the same time, click on the lab projects, and everything that you have learned in the theory, you will be able to apply using the simulation software that we offer with the courses. Here's a deep dive into one of the practical, oops, I just scrolled pretty quickly there. Okay, there we go. Sorry about that. Okay. There you go. Here's a deep dive into one of the practical programming example. This is one of the challenging question, and there are tons of challenging question available on the course. This is one of the example where the question is asking students to modify the ladder program, the one shown on the right-hand side. So we have taken a screen capture, try to fit everything on one screen. I hope it's visible. But when you work through the program, you'll be able to see them very clearly because it will be displayed in full screen mode. But what this question is really saying is you have to modify the ladder program shown on the right-hand side such that you add 20 units of solution A to pump 1, 10 units of solution B, and then you have to mix the solution, heat it up to a set point temperature, and once that temperature is reached, you have to drain the tank, and then you have to add a 2-second delay and repeat the whole process. So this is a perfect example of how you will be presented with different lab projects where you have to troubleshoot. So that's the best way to learn. You're not just going to read and watch the lab projects that we have already pre-built for you, but it will be asking you to troubleshoot examples where it will force you to do certain. Again, we always provide you with the solution. So there is an option for you to click on solution button to see what's the answer if you're not able to solve it in the first time. There is also a solution lab project provided to you. So if you're not able to solve it, you can run the solution lab project, and that will give you an exact ladder program which will get you to that process. Again, there is also a technical and tutorial support available for you to reach out to if you have any questions while you're on the program. To the next one here. Okay, here's another quick demonstration video that we have prepared showing you the RoboLogic simulation software. RoboLogic simulation is the oh, it's running perfect. Thank you. It's the simulation software that comes with the robotics technician as well as the automation technician program. And there are 4 kinds of robot covered in this simulation suite. The first one, as we are looking at on the screen, is the pick and place robot. Here, the robot's picking up boxes from one conveyor, dropping onto another one. There was also a pallet, if you noticed earlier. You can also have those boxes dropped on the pallet in a particular format. The next one was the paint robot as well as the welding robot. So there are 4 different kind of robots covered in this simulation suite. Again, same logic applies to this one. There's a program in the background which controls this environment, and you will be given opportunity to either create those programs from scratch or use one of the pre-built lab projects to learn how to control this environment. So it's very hands-on, very interactive, giving you so here's an example of a robot. You will be jogging the robot to make sure that it goes to the exact point on the environment to perform the task you want to. Moving on to the next slide here. Let's take a look at a wind turbine simulation software here. Again, this is something, as the name applies, it comes with the wind turbine technician program. And this simulation, it's divided into 2 areas. There is a yaw control that controls the nacelle around the to face the wind all the time. As we all know, the most output we get is when it's facing the wind. And there is also pitch control, which is to keep the power rating. Now, depending on what power rating is for the turbine, if you're working with a 1 megawatt power rating, you want to make sure that it's the pitch control is keeping the power rating to 1 megawatt being generated by the turbine. So it will adjust the pitch according to how strong or weak the wind is blowing. And in this example, as we saw, it also used the PLC in the background to regulate the pitch angle of the blades to keep the wind turbine working at a rated power level. And the power value is constantly pushed towards the rated value of 1 megawatt. Okay, you are able to adjust the wind speed using that dialog on the left-hand side. So when you're when you're working on the simulation software, you can adjust the wind speed. You can change it from miles per hour to kilometer per hour, depending on what your needs are, and see how the PLC controls the pitch angle and the yaw to get the maximum out of the turbine. Okay, and lastly, we have our electric vehicle technician program. Here's another short video showing you the overview of EV technician program. There are 14 modules covered in the EV technician program with multiple sections within them. Each module covers everything, covers the concepts in detail. There are three groups of people who would benefit from taking our EV program. The first, obviously, is the automotive technicians who are interested in learning the power electronic side of EV, and to learn how to safely perform the service-related work on EVs and hybrid vehicles. The second group, obviously, are the electricians who are interested in learning the installation, repair, and maintenance of commercial level EV charging stations. We cover the residential as well, but commercial is where the most demand is right now. As we know, with the growing in growing vehicles on EVs on the road, there is a huge demand of the infrastructure to support them. So these are all the simulation software as we're looking at on the screen, which you will learn in the EV program. This is the three-phase AC motor circuit. So as we looked at different examples, it's very hands-on. The circuit logic simulation. So here's an example of a Tesla Model S battery. The question is asking you, maybe I can pause the video for a quick second here. The question is asking you to calculate how long it will take for a Model S battery module to charge from 0 to 80%. So what we really want students to do is to do the math first to understand how the calculation works. And then once they have done the math, they can click on the lab project shown on the screen right there. Once they click on the lab project, the same circuit will be opened up using the simulation tool, the one we just looked at, Circuit Logics. So Circuit Logics is a simulation program which will be used in the electronics, electromechanical, as well as the EV technician program. And you have more than, I would say, the library, you have more than 10,000 devices and components that comes in the Circuit Logics, which you can easily pick and place. So here, I'll pause the video for a quick second. So what we see on the left-hand side is just a few devices. But once we go into the device library using one of the menu buttons at the top, you'll be able to pick more than there are more than 10,000 devices and components available. You'll be able to pick any one of them from there and place it on the platform here. The platform works like a breadboard, where you can connect them using the resistors and ground and everything, and you can run the simulation to see the waveforms and oscilloscopes and everything. So as we can see here, this is just showing you how long the Tesla battery module takes to charge from 0 to 80%. And once again, what you learned in the theory, you're able to apply it using the simulation software. So that's the best part of this technical training programs that we offer. You'll get an opportunity to learn everything hands-on. And with EV, as we all know, you're working with a high voltage. Components and high voltage batteries, right? So it's very important for you to have that safety when you're working on this on the vehicle. So learning from the simulation tool will help you understand all that without getting into a danger of getting yourself electrocuted. So once you have the understanding and experience on how to work on those circuits, then you can go and work on the vehicle, and you would not have to. You'll be prepared and so that you will know what to touch and what not to touch. So all the high voltage components and cables are highlighted in bright orange color, as we know in an electric vehicle, and you will learn all that in the program. And here's a quick look at the Student Resource Center. So there are multiple options available for you when you are as a student. You will have access to the online forum where you can access a lot of questions posted in the past, or if you have any question that you don't find it there, you can always post your own question there, which will be answered by the forum advisor. And there is an online exam. So anytime, it's very flexible. You can take your exam any time of the day, and you'll get marked, and you'll get the exam result, very detailed report card by email. I think that's everything on my end. I will pass it back to.
Thank you, Geet.
Thank
Okay, you've touched on some of the things that I'm going to talk about, but I just want to reinforce it. You know, our programs are self-directed, they're online, but we do understand the importance of providing a helping hand along the way. We do have a really robust student support center. They're staffed with experienced technical and tutorial support professionals, and they're available to you live through a toll-free line or email. Monday through Sunday, so with extended hours during the weekdays, but 7 days a week, you can actually get a hold of a real person to help you out. As Geet showed you, we do have an online resource center with discussion forums and helpful learning resources. We also have a private Facebook group where we post news, resources, job postings, and it's a great way to connect with other people working on the programs or alumni who have graduated from our programs. And that brings us to the end of our formal presentation. If you could just perhaps just fill in this poll, that would be super. Again, it'll give us a sense of what program you're interested in, and also you know, where you're currently working. Now, in saying that, Shimona, are there any questions that you were not able to answer?
Those that came up, I answered them both. There one just came in. Does the EV technician course application covers application of BMS and wire harnesses? Geet, do you want to take that one?
Oops, I was on mute there. Sure, Shimona, I can definitely answer that. So we covered a little bit of BMS in the EV technician program, but again, you know, it is not covered in depth. We try to keep our EV program as generic as possible. And as we looked at in the short demonstration video earlier, it's divided into two sections, one focusing on the electric vehicle and the other on the charging station technology. So you will be learning all the fundamentals and the basics of electricity. It starts from a very basic level, even though you know the electricians and automotive technicians will benefit a lot from this program. It doesn't expect anyone to have any of those backgrounds. It starts from a very basic level, and it will teach you all the basic electricity first before it jumps into the high voltage power electronics.
Rob, maybe you could.
Okay, there's more questions coming in now. Is the electromechanical technician tech eligible for Canada Alberta job grant?
So it very well might be. I'm not familiar with that grant in particular. I know the grants, the Better Jobs Ontario, and it is our programs are eligible for those. So you're going to have to. You know, if you could forward us some information, we can take a look and get you the answer to that. I don't know offhand. There are some grants that our programs are eligible for. Typically, if it requires you to attend a class on a full-time basis, our programs are not eligible because they are self-paced part-time programs.
Right. And Shimona, maybe to the gentleman earlier who asked a question about BMS, if you don't mind to put the link to our course outline, you know, the program outline. So one of the module in our EV technician program is focusing on BMS. So you can it's not just the battery management system, but also a lot of about the batteries and battery charging systems. So if you take a look at the program outline, you will see that it goes into very detail about battery management system and battery charging systems in our program.
Shimona, I did notice a question from Michael regarding when you receive the certificate, can you further your studies? I don't know if that's been addressed, but I'll jump on that one. So all our programs are credit bearing with continuing education units. And these can be used towards furthering your education. And we actually have developed pathways with some of our programs, in particular the PLC and the electronics. We do have pathways to continue towards a diploma and a degree. And maybe Shimona, you can post those links. But even with the other programs, because they are credit bearing, you can take that to your another college or university with the transcripts. Just like any program, when you want to get exemptions or apply some of your credits, the accepting college or university does have to review the course outlines and the transcripts to evaluate whether it's compatible with the program that you're applying toward. So because they are credit bearing, yes, they very well could be used to further your education.
There's Iris, do you want to take the one from the process engineer, or is it no, or Geet?
What is the question? Sorry. Can you?
He's a process engineer preparing for a shift from Industry 4.0 to Industry 5. My most concern is how tangible and effective is the practical section of the course. I have engaged with lots of industry professionals with this program, and all their question maps to this concern. Can you candidly show how the outline learning is relevant to my career growth and boost my employability?
Okay, I can probably address that one. I see the question there. Thank you, Quadvo. It's a really good question, and the best part of our program is the hands-on experience. You know, we all have the concern when it's an online learning. How are you going to have that hands-on experience to work in the manufacturing industry? And what we are able to achieve over the years, like this is. We're not new in this field. We have been, we launched electronics technician back in '96, and ever since we have added multiple programs in the same format. It is because of the success of other programs in the past. We have been able to add more programs, and the best part of our program is the simulation tools. The whole, if you look at the structure of our entire course curriculum, it is just not reading the material, but it is being supported by the lab projects, which you will have to forcefully work on it on a simulation software, which will give you the practical experience you need to work in the manufacturing industry. And while you're enrolled in the program, if you're stuck on any lab project or any question as it is, if you don't understand, we have a great team of support advisors who have experience working with the students for so many years, who will be there to help you answer any questions when you're working on the course.
Yep. Other questions that I would like addressed to everyone. Any details on the solar program that we could share now or no?
Well, the solar program will be out in a couple of months. I don't have specifics to share with you, but it is a solar energy technician and a solar installer, so two separate programs. You know, stay tuned. We will be launching it in April. But it will work in the same way as our other programs, with the simulation software that will allow you to apply the theoretical into a practical way. We're quite excited about it. We know that there's growth in the solar that area, and I think again, it'll work very much in the same way as our existing programs. quite robust.
Thanks, Iris. And you could probably address this as well to concerns of if needing experience to take any of our courses. A lot of experience to take our courses.
So I'll start, and I'll let
Maybe
Geet
I can-
chime in. The programs don't, the prerequisites are minimal, high school, background, but they don't presume knowledge when you're starting the program. They do start at an introductory level. And Geet, maybe I'll let you take over from there.
Right, for sure. Thank you, Iris. So depending on which program you're interested in, having some background definitely helps. But as Iris mentioned, there is absolutely no prerequisite for any of our programs that we offer. A basic high school math is more than enough for you to take certain programs. Even that is not required for some of the programs like robotics, where there is very minimal math required for you to go through the program. But in case of electronics and electromechanical, and maybe up to some extent electric vehicle, there would be some calculations you will be doing, as we looked at in one of the video earlier, that there was a math involved when you were calculating how much time it takes to for the Tesla Model S battery to charge from 0 to 80%. So that was one example of math that you'll be doing, and that's why we say having a high school math will definitely help. But other than that, there is absolutely no experience or prerequisite for this courses. All our programs starts from a very basic level. If you're looking at PLC 1 and PLC 2, PLC 1 is based on Allen Bradley 500, the older Allen Bradley PLCs, while PLC 2 is the Studio 5000 tech-based programming. So there is, if someone was coming in very fresh, again, they can always jump into PLC 2 if they like, depending on what they are using at, because a lot of the time when student comes to us, we ask them if they are already working for a company who's using specific kind of PLC. If their company is using the Allen Bradley 5000, then it makes more sense for them to jump onto PLC 2 directly. But if they want, they can always register into PLC 1 first and then take the PLC 2. There are credits, and you will see there are quite a few modules. You'll get exempted if you complete one program and then you register into the other program, which is what a lot of our students do. When they complete one of our program, they will register into the second one and they'll get exemptions. And when you get an exemption, you would not have to pay for those modules. So you will save some money when you register into the second program.
Anything else, Shimona?
Yes. Keith, could you touch a bit on the structure of the exams? They wanted to know if the exams are purely tutorial theory-based or if they're practicals and on the simulation tool included, stuff like that.
Sure, I can answer that, Shimona. Thank you. So online exams, all our exams are online. You can do anytime. The questions on the exam will be some like multiple choice, fill in the blank, short answer questions. You will find questions based on, for example, if you're registered into the PLC technician program, you will find questions based on the ladder program, but it will not ask you to design a ladder program in the question. It will probably give you a ladder diagram on the question itself, and the question would be, is this ladder diagram, what's the fault over here? And there would be labels on it, A, B, C, D, and you will have to notify that, is it the rung B, not correctly configured? So our whole purpose of giving you a challenging exam is we want you to learn the best out of this, because our exams will it's not just about passing the exam, getting the certificate and move on. Our whole purpose is to teach our students the best skills they can learn from these courses so they can apply it into their day-to-day job. And it's the word of mouth. One student, we have seen this over the years, like one student from a company would take this program and they will see the difference in their daily job performance, and they will recommend it to their colleagues, and we will get so many other of their colleagues from the same company registered into the program. So you will be tested on the exams, but there are practice exams available on the course, which will help you to learn, prepare for the online exam. depending on which program you register, but most of the modules on the programs have practice exams at the end, and those practice exams can be taken as many times you like. They follow the same question format. So, and good thing about practice exam is each time you load it, you'll see different set of questions on it. So it will help you to prepare for your online exam. And we have a huge support staff, as I mentioned earlier, to help you prepare for your online exam too.
There's another question from Michael. Let me just get back to that. Is it possible to get into the job field with this certificate required from the programs you offered?
Yeah, I'll take that, and Geet, feel free to jump in. We know that our programs will provide you with new skills and knowledge. I noticed that you said you've got an I think you said you've got some other background in this area, electromechanics, perhaps. I'm not seeing it right now, but it really will it will further and complement your background. What we do is we do ask our students afterwards how they've used it and what they've used it for. And Shimona, perhaps you can just share a link to some of our student success stories, because they talk about how they've used the program either to, within their company, move into a different role, or to move up into a new company, promotions, or move up in their career. So people are telling us, yes, it's helping them open doors, and it's giving them a competitive edge when they're going for interviews, because you have the knowledge and skills now to competently and confidently answer those interview questions.
Yep. Give me a moment. Let's see if there's any new questions came in after. I think I'm all caught up.
Well, we have come to close to the end of our time. We did promise that this would be 30 minutes, and we're now going on to 40 minutes. So I am going to wrap it up. I do see, Shimona, that, and you can see on the screen, there is a 1-800 number and an email address. Please call, speak to one of our program consultants. They can talk to you about your specific requirements and goals with training. We can send you an information package if you haven't already looked at one. But really, give us a shout. The people that man our phones really have a wealth of information about these programs, and certainly can help you decide whether these programs make sense with your training needs.
Maybe I can answer the last question we just got from Marky. He's asking if you have to complete a module and exam before you can move on to the next module, and can you jump back and forth? Absolutely. Once you register for the program, you'll be provided with a link to download the software, which includes the course curriculum as well as the simulation tools to your computer, and you're given up to 3 licenses, so you can install it on up to 3 computers. What we have seen over the years, most of our students, what they do is they will install 1 copy on their work computer and a 2nd copy on their personal computer, and they'll keep the 3rd license as a backup, just in case one of the computers they have to retire and buy a new one. So once you have installed successfully the course curriculum on your computer, you'll have access to it for lifetime. You can in fact, majority of our students do that. They always go back to the curriculum to revise anything, to use the simulation software for anything. So you're more than welcome to go through the modules again and again. There is absolutely no time limit or deadline for only how long you can access it. To answer your first part of the question, if you have to complete a module and exam before you can move on to the next one, it is not compulsory, but we recommend that you follow the modules in the same order they are provided, because a lot of the further modules you'll notice that something that you may have learned in the previous module, you'll apply apply that into the next modules in the program. So we recommend that you follow the same order that we have provided, but it is completely up to you on how you want to go through those modules. If there is a specific module that you're really interested in learning, you can always jump onto that one directly if you like, and then go to the previous modules.
Right. What we find is most people follow the order because the concepts build on one another. But we do see people who are in a workplace and whose employer is specifically looking for them to learn a specific area and topic. So they will jump right into that particular module. But for the most part, most of our students follow modules 1, 2, 3, and on. Well, I appreciate everybody sticking with us and attending our open house. If you have a specific, if we haven't answered your question directly enough, please, you can message Shimona privately, or you can send us an email at info@gbctechtraining.com, and I'll have one of our program consultants reach out to you. As a reminder, we will be sending this video out to you probably early next week, so you can review it if you need. But I do encourage anybody, talk to one of our program consultants. They'll really, we're here to help you understand how our programs fit into your specific goals. And we're around Monday through Sunday to do that. Anyways, thank you very much for attending, and have yourself a great afternoon. Thank you.
Thank you everyone for joining us today.